other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. Just go out there and do your best, kid. But your best isn't good enough. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field. We need your support. Suit up. It's game time.
Visit ja.org/volunteer.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Summer is winding down, but there's no reason to put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Sign up today for 9-hole leagues this fall, any day from Monday to Friday, starting on September 25th. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Call today at 402-742-0140.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday night from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at Detroit. Look at Detroit. And the captain.
3-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34, gets the touchdown. Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bakovic.
I've talked to a few cats. They said that Bach got some game, man.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer. Here he is, Vershawn Jackson.
There you go. You got it. You figured it out. You might notice, or maybe you can't. That sounds like Terrell. But that is not Terrell, and I am not Vershawn. Obviously, I'm Jake Bachman. I'm along here with you, usually on the captain. He is Rico.
They call me Two Grills.
They do not call him Two Grills. They don't even call Terrell Two Grills, but he's got 2 girls, so we can get that going.
I have a black shirt on.
That's right. Any other similarities to Terrell?
I was also fast.
That's right.
I did not play football at a high level, though.
And it was fast. You're not fast anymore.
I feel like I might still have a little speed. I'm faster than him.
You're still faster than Terrell?
Yeah, I'm faster than Terrell. So
did you do a race?
Still got that. We did. While you were, I think it was while you were gone.
Was this when you got hurt?
When he got hurt, yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that counts for him. Or were you ahead
No,
of him?
I was ahead of him before.
Oh, okay.
Because I did that, and then because he ran his, he had his time, then I ran, and I got my time. My time was faster, and he said he wanted to run against me, so we went to run against each other, and he got hurt.
That's when he got hurt.
Yeah.
All
He's a little baby.
Well, it can happen.
Because Terrell's a little baby.
I don't know about that. It's just going to happen to anybody.
I hope he's listening.
More importantly, we are about 25 hours now away from kickoff in Nebraska, Colorado, the most anticipated game for the week in college football, regardless. Well, probably in football. You know, in the NFL, after having that past Thursday, of course, you got your games coming up Sunday. But now the eyes of the nation are on Nebraska and Colorado, which is kind of strange.
It's weird to say.
I mean, these were not good teams last year. It's been a long. I mean, even the last times that Nebraska has played Colorado, I can't remember maybe you have to go back to 2001. Hate to bring it up, but the last time that the nation was looking at it.
Dare you?
And I can't help but note that game, and I hate to do it, but Nebraska never got off the mat from that game. That was the last time Nebraska was number one. You lose 62-36. Obviously, they had a chance to win in the national championship game because everybody else fell apart just like Nebraska did. And then the computers were like, hey, Nebraska.
Hey, what do you know?
Like,
you know what? They are pretty good.
Yeah, we're like, okay, well.
Nebraska was like, okay.
Well, it was weird because Nebraska's national titles up until that point, obviously you had a tie in 1970. But other than that, they were unblemished. And so, like, going into that game, even if they did beat the Hurricanes, you were just kind of thinking, like, yeah, but we're going to rank our titles, and that's going to be the lowest.
Yeah. It's going to be like 6 titles, but
that one has a loss in it, so we don't know what to feel about that one. But in any case, also interesting to note when you argue, like, greatest teams of all time, it is interesting to me that Nebraska was number one, this great Miami Hurricanes team up until the final regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it kind of goes the same way with the 95 Huskers too, though. Like, you go into that game and everybody's favoring Florida, talking about how Florida's going to win. It kind of, sometimes in my mind, it's just kind of like, well, are they the greatest of all time if you couldn't, like, see it right then?
I feel like that's what put them over the top of the greatest of all time.
It does.
It's because you were so great for so long during the regular season, and then finally, when you get to face that other team that everybody's talking about, and nobody picks you, and then you go out and you stomp them, and you're just like, see, I told you we were better. And then they're like, you know what? You're right. You are the greatest. I feel like that adds a little, because you have those teams like those later Alabama teams that people try to throw in, or like that Georgia team from last year.
I know 2019 LSU is my
and they throw them in there. I mean, that 2019 LSU wasn't the greatest from the start to the end, but at some point towards the beginning, people were like, wait a minute, this team actually looks pretty legit. But in terms of like those Alabama teams or that Georgia team, it was, they were number 1 or number 2 at the beginning of the season, and they just held on to that the entire way through, and it was really no doubt in anyone's mind, like, this is going to be the national champion at the end of the season.
You're going back and look at it, because I did want to look at it. That LSU team was ranked top 5 all year long. They didn't take number 1 spot until the game against Ole Miss. They fell back to the number 2 spot for their season finisher against Texas A&M before the SEC championship game against Georgia. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. The greatest team of all time argument is so fun. And Nebraska's, obviously, because Nebraska's
it's one of those 1930 teams.
Those teams are hard to believe they'd be the greatest of all time.
They're the greatest of all time.
They're greatest for their time.
I'm just saying, some of those teams went 3-0. Nobody else could have done that.
It's those earlier teams in like when you talk about the greatest of all time,
like 1910s.
Yeah, like when like college football players were dying left and right. I think those might be the greatest team. Like
they're like, I had a 200-pound center.
Yeah, they weren't very big. But they were so dedicated that people would die, and they'd be like, we're playing next week.
Yeah, people die, and they're just like, that sucks. All right, well.
It happens to college athletes.
Get them off the field.
Let's move along.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy. If you do a little bit of a history research there. But in any case, not many thinking speaking of the greatest of all time, I should say, if you've heard a few, like Joel Klatt was even comparing Dion already to Nick Saban. You're just going, oh, come on, hold on.
Well, remember, it wasn't Joel, but it was I can't remember who it was. Compared Frost. Frost is going to be the next Nick Saban. Remember,
that's Brando.
Yeah,
Tim Brando.
He's going to be the next Nick Saban.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that Dion is going to. Well, Dion's already further along than Frost was. So
he's done it. He's beaten Frost.
So there is that aspect to it. But I think we should calm down before naming people the next Nick Saban. Do I think Dion's going to be very successful? Yes. Do I think that he's going to be the next Nick Saban? I feel like we should wait till his first national championship before we do that.
Well, you should wait longer. That's what I like. That's like saying, the GOAT of Tom Brady. Like, there's just too many rings. Deion could win 6 rings. And it still wouldn't be Nick Saban.
It's a lot of rings.
That's a lot of rings.
It's a lot of rings.
That's like those guys that come into the league. Jalen Brown says he wants to win 7 or 8. What was it? I think
he has 2 years to win 5 rings.
I think Caleb Williams said he wants to beat Tom Brady's record.
Yeah.
It's like,
they're like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is chasing Tom Brady. And I go, well, he's at 2.
it's crazy how some of these guys have just dominated so much to get that many rings to where it's like, I don't. I mean, you always say I don't know if we'll see another one, but
just keeping this on like the greatest of all time arguments of things. Like you look at LeBron James and everything he's done, and he's still by many not considered the greatest.
That's right.
Everything he's done is the best scorer ever in the history of the NBA. And that is proof by the fact that he has scored more points than everybody in the history of the NBA. He's got, 5 rings? Is he at 5? 4?
I don't know what he's up to now.
However many rings he's at. Well, he has the 2 with Miami, the 1 with Cleveland. He's at 4. Yeah. He's at 4. He's at 4 rings. He has 4 rings.
3 and a Mickey Mouse championship.
He has 4 rings. He went to the NBA Finals like 8 times in a row.
Oh, yeah.
He is the only person in like the top 10 in points and assists. And, whatever else he's in, like all of these statistics that only LeBron James has ever reached. And people are like, yeah, but 6 rings. And that's all people have to. They're like, oh, Michael Jordan won 6 rings, undefeated in the finals. Like, and then it's like, oh, okay, so everything else doesn't matter.
That's right.
And so it's just impossible to compare, greats in terms of statistics, apparently. So even if you have, you're saying Deion Sanders is going to be the next Nick Saban. Okay, well, he needs 1 ring first before we can even throw him into that conversation. And then he needs 5 more before he's even caught up to Nick Saban. And that's if Nick Saban doesn't win again.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think in college football, it's easier to do it like in basketball, like when you're an athlete too, a lot of it depends on your coach, your coaching staff, your teammates, location, all that sort of thing. I think college football, it is easier just to throw titles out there and say, okay, this is a pretty good ranking system. Now there are exceptions. I mean, Bill Snyder, I consider one of the greatest of all time. He never won a title, but he brought Kansas State from where, the lowest of the low in college football to where they are. Where they were and where they maybe are again now with Chris Kleiman. So, I mean, I think you can have those sorts of arguments. I think Tom Osborne in that argument deserves a lot of credit because, there's a difference between doing it in the middle of, I hate to say middle of nowhere, but where Nebraska is, the middle of nowhere in the Midwest. It's unparalleled. No one else has ever, been able to do that until you go back, to the 30s or whatever. So I think you do get a little bit more credit. So it's not all just rings. But I think it's a little bit easier to do that in college football if you're talking about GOATs there. But also one thing that was kind of interesting in VJ and Terrell, I think at least I felt disagreed with me on this because Deion's bringing a lot of guys around like Warren Sapp and a lot of celebrities and they say, well, they can teach them pointers and this and that. And I'm thinking, yeah, like that can work and it can be helpful, but it doesn't turn it's like trying to get Ndamukong Suh around. I don't care how much time Ty Robinson hangs out with Ndamukong Suh. He's not going to turn into Ndamukong Suh. Now, you can get some pointers here and there, but that doesn't always work either. My best example is Michael Jordan, who owned the best of all time, who owned the worst franchise for the entirety of his ownership. So like it doesn't always translate. And sometimes it is just that idea of like, all you have to do is this. And it's like, well, we can't really do that.
Yeah,
Michael, we don't have that.
It's easy to say just because you're hanging out with greatness that you'll somehow absorb that greatness, but it's just not true. No matter how much somebody tries to teach you something, if you A, aren't willing to learn, or B, just can't physically do what they do, there's no way that you can reach that level. And there are even if you can physically do what they do, sometimes it just doesn't work out because you're facing different people. You're not going up against the same centers and guards and tackles that Ndamukong Suh was going up against back in the late 2000s. You're not going up against, the same wide receivers or corners that any of these guys were going up against when they were playing. Like, everything is so different that even if you do the exact same, even if you somehow are 6'5" and 230 pounds and run a 4.40 like Calvin Johnson, or however fast he ran or how big he was, if you don't have the same, catch radius, if your arms aren't the same length, if your hands aren't the same size, maybe you just don't catch as well as he does, you'll never be Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, it just just because you hang out with greatness and that greatness tries to teach you something doesn't mean that it will automatically happen. Yes, it's great to have those guys around and to help and to assist with a program. And you should have those guys around. But just because they're there doesn't automatically mean that you will be successful.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes you have those guys, and this happens a decent amount. Not a decent amount, but it happens a few times where it's guys on the end of the bench that end up being some of the best coaches. It's not always the star player that ends up being the best coach, because you have those guys who are just physically gifted or just, worked extremely hard and were just better than everybody else. And once they get into coaching, it's like, just do it. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I did it. Just do it. It's like, well, I can't. I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between being athletically gifted enough and being able to teach that. Now, it can cross over. It's not to say that some people can't do it. Deion's a great example. I mean, Travis Hunter is learning from the greatest cornerback of all time, and clearly Deion can coach.
He's a great coach.
Yeah, we can see that. Maybe greatest of all time. No. But he is. I mean, so there are examples where it can happen, but that kind of just always goes back to the idea when Nebraska was like, has been down in the doldrums, and people just like, well, bring back this X player and bring back that X player. You need more former Huskers in the program. You got your best look at that at Scott Frost. It doesn't translate. That was your best coach / former player that you've had in the last 20 years as far as a candidate, and it didn't work out. I guess you could argue that, Zach Taylor's pretty good. There's some guys that
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Pick the wrong former quarterback. Darn it.
That's all it is. It's the luck. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get unlucky. Unfortunately for Nebraska, they've been nothing but unlucky.
Hopefully that luck turns around. There's a little bit of the ball bouncing the right way for Nebraska against Minnesota. That was kind of weird. Kind of different.
It's like, ooh, I seriously thought somebody was going to wreck Sims when that ball was bouncing and just pick it up and score.
Yeah.
Just take it all the way back for a touchdown. Like, it was just that's just what's happened to Nebraska. But he picked it up and he tossed a touchdown. And then he bowed on the field, and then they didn't score after that.
Which I know, and there's obviously the spread is at 3 points. ESPN's favoring Nebraska. That's kind of the narrative throughout the week. We all know this game is kind of loopy, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I still maybe it's and maybe I don't want to carry the Frost stuff over to Matt Rule.
Yeah, it's hard.
But even if Nebraska's in a position to win, like if you say, yeah, Nebraska's going to win this game,
they're up by
6
with 3 minutes left.
Do you believe they're going to win? That's the thing, and it's like no.
Nebraska could be up by 7 with 7 seconds left, and I'd be like, I don't know how it's going to happen. But Colorado is going to score this ball and get the 2-point conversion.
Which is terrible because I let that go for week 1. But then it was just like for the first game of the Matt Rule era, it was just like, I believed, I really did in the fourth quarter. I was like, this isn't the Frost era. This will be perfect to show not only can you step up and beat a Minnesota team, but you can do it in a way that Frost could never do. And then that was a Frost game.
Just an uppercut straight to the jaw.
Yeah.
Just kasaisa.
One among the worst ways to lose a game over the last 5 years. And I thought we'd seen it all. I mean, if you write down the way that Frost games broke down and include that Matt Rule game, it's like, I don't know how many other ways you can lose these close games.
Another spot on the bingo card. We've hit bingo so many times.
Oh, man.
And Tater, Bach did say ESPN, they don't have Nebraska by 3, but in their game predictor analysis thingy, they have Nebraska favored whatever percentage. I think Nebraska is like 50-some%, Colorado. And I don't like that. I don't like all of these, all of the pundits are talking about how great Colorado is and how they're going to, stomp a hole in Nebraska. And then you look at the metrics and it's like, well, Nebraska's going to win this game. And I go, why? Why are you doing this? I don't feel very confident about this at all.
But what is that based off of too? I never necessarily like those percentages, because are they using a lot of last year's stuff still? Because that'd be the only way I could see a percentage. Because there's a lot of numbers that Colorado put up.
I'm just saying I would take the team that's 1-0 as a favorite over the team that's 0-1.
Right. 1-0, beat a top 25 team that was in the championship game last year.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe the team that's ranked 22nd.
Yeah. I don't know what numbers that again.
And you're a fan of computers making decisions for national champions.
Hey, the BCS era was the best. I think that more had to do with just two teams and not this long playoff. By the way, again, another example, and we'll argue our regular season. Thank God, one last great college football regular season where Clemson's already eliminated from the playoffs, albeit
hooray!
And Kansas City loses in week 1, and they're still probably the favorites to win the Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
Because that's how playoffs work.
I mean, look, Kadarius Toney had more drops in that one game than Larry Fitzgerald had his entire career.
Well, it'd be nice if that meant something, but it really doesn't. They'll just, if they can win in week 2,
it doesn't.
Oh well, doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean a damn thing.
No.
Tragic.
Except for your fantasy team. We all heard about people with Travis Kelce's fantasy. Yeah, we know. Stop. I'm already fed up with fantasy people.
Are you?
I am.
So you don't want me to tell you about my fantasy team?
Please don't.
I'm going to tell you about my fantasy team in the next segment.
Don't.
Keep it tuned here. You'll hear all about Rico's fantasy football team.
That's incorrect. We'll be back here on The Captain on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Summer is winding down, but there's no reason to put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Sign up today for 9-hole leagues this fall, any day from Monday to Friday, starting on September 25th. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Call today at 402-742-0140.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
This school year's in full swing. Students are back in the class learning, making new friends, and developing new interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Parents, communication is key to helping your student maintain a strong start to the school year. Whether your student is in high school or navigating the new world of kindergarten, keep an open dialogue about what they're learning and how they are growing.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Captain on 93.7 The Ticket. Once again, it's a travel day for much of the Ticket employees here as they head their way out to Boulder. So no Vershawn and no Terrell today, but we'll make up for it. They'll be live out in Boulder tomorrow for much of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show as well as the postgame show. We do better than anybody else. So if you want a pregame, you want a postgame, go ahead and tune in to 93.7 The Ticket. Speaking of doing it better than anybody else, we went downtown to the new location last night for the staff meeting. We're going to do it even better here. Hopefully for by next week, next Friday, right?
Hopefully.
Would be the ideal time to open for the home opener against Northern Illinois. We'll see. I mean, it always depends on who can get some stuff done, but it's going to be incredible.
I was saying it earlier that having DP walk us through and explain where everything is going to be and how everything is going to look is awesome. And trying to imagine that in my mind is awesome. But I just can't wait to actually see it all set up and ready for us when we walk in there, because I think we should do like a video like the teams do when they get new locker rooms.
Yeah, that's right.
We should just have everyone, whoa, yeah. go in there because it looks amazing. And right now, there's nothing on the walls yet. I mean, we have the desk in for our studio. The production studio looks pretty nice. We got a podcast studio that's very bright. We have like a staff meeting area. We saw where DP's office is gonna, like, we saw everything. And again, he explained where all of the 2,500 TVs are going to be.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what it's going to look like when it's done.
Well, it reminds me too, guys. Like if you don't, it is what it is. I don't have that many friends. I don't get invited to that many stuff. So I could speak for some people here. If you don't have much to do on game day, come join us. Like seriously, it's going to be like those old ESPN commercials where they're running into like mascots and other players. Like if you come down, you might run into Strick or Amon Green or
or
Bob Farley or Rico, or myself,
but not Nick. Don't ever run into.
Don't run into Nick. Watch out for Nick down there. No, just kidding. But as far like J4, I mean, you guys know all the personalities we have, and there will be more. Like the idea of having like this Husker hub. I mean, inviting other former Huskers in And it's been very cool. I mean, even bringing people to this studio, you know, they're always impressed and kind of awed by seeing some of the people that just walk around here. And now we're bringing that to you, the public. You don't need to be invited. You don't need a pass.
We'll have a coffee shop.
You have to come in and get coffee, so you're not standing there twiddling your thumbs or stand there and twiddle thumbs. You don't care. We're gonna have games on. You can talk to us.
Patio area. You can hang out outside.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be fantastic.
It is going to be.
We're going to be tossing footballs outsthat outside. Hopefully, they don't go in the street.
I don't know if we should do that.
DP said we could. The boss said we could. That's all. He said it. I'm going with it.
That'll last about 2 weeks
until it rolls into the street. And a bus runs over it.
That's right.
And then we're all sad.
Or I just don't want anything tragic to happen down there.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
A lot of cars going by right there. I don't know if that's a good idea.
It's called athleticism, Bach. Just jump over the car.
No matter how much you play, and you know this from your childhood, it always goes over the fence.
100%.
And then you have to go over to the neighbors and
you're like, hey,
ball went over the fence.
My ball's in your yard. Can I get it, please?
In this case, it will roll into the street, and somebody will not even look both ways, just focus on the ball, run right to it, and then that will.
And then you jump over the car. There we go. Problem solved.
There you go. You're gonna have some.
It'll be fun.
Speaking of that athleticism earlier,
yeah, I'll be good.
Yeah,
like hit a spin move on a car. You ever hit a spin move on a car? I haven't, but I feel like I could.
Did you ever see that video of that guy that tried to jump over a car
and failed miserably? Yeah. His shoes like flew up. I'm pretty sure they're in space. Those things got launched.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was bad idea.
That was bad. Let's not
don't try that at home.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I was kind of wondering, and I've seen a lot of polls on this, on kind of fan voting online, just to kind of try to remember what this Colorado rivalry means. And we've been talking about it, Dion saying it's personal. The Colorado kids, I mean, they've not worn the red, kind of going back to the McCartney era, and decided, they've had interviews with certain guys that say, I don't know why we don't like them, but we don't like them.
Yeah.
And so they've developed this hatred.
I have no thoughts, but I don't like them
against Nebraska. I think it was Jimmy Horn Jr. that said that. I was thinking kind of funny. But in any case, I wonder, like, Nebraska still, for the move to the Big Ten, I think Iowa's taken over as the biggest rival. But I've seen some polls out there with the Colorado hatred. Maybe it's just because we're in the week and, the Dion stuff. It's hard to be quite honest, it's hard to hate a team that's 4-8 every year. Sorry, Nebraska, but but it is. I mean,
it's hard to hate a bad team.
Colorado's been down for like as much as we complain about Nebraska being down. Colorado has been down, not just these 4-8, 3-9s that we're not used to.
And they're also 2-0 against Nebraska in that span.
They also have beaten Nebraska in the last couple of years. But with Dion coming back, with Colorado being prominent, they're not one of those teams that you necessarily say college football is better when Colorado's good. But to me, it is because, just because of where we live and that old rivalry out there, they have one of the best mascots to actually have a running buffalo out there. It's very, very cool. I love the stadium, just kind of out there in the mountains. It looks very cool. It's kind of unique compared to a lot of other, at least Power 5 stadiums. So I don't know. Where does Colorado kind of fit in your hatred? You didn't necessarily, I mean, you were there for the Big 12 days.
I was, but it wasn't. There was no
Colorado wasn't good.
No. So for me, I have no I'm like Jimmy Horn. I have no thoughts, but I know I don't like them.
There you go.
Like I don't care about Colorado. I don't have any thoughts. Maybe this is bad. I like the black and gold colors together. I think it looks good
uniform
together.
Looks incredible.
Like it looks great.
Yeah.
And Coach Prime has just done a really good job of not only adopting that but making it look pretty cool again. So maybe I'll get torn apart for this, but I've heard, the stories from my father-in-law when he went out to Colorado for a game, and he said that they took off their Nebraska jackets, threw them in the trash. They took their license plates off of their car. They made sure that they had nothing associated to Nebraska anywhere on them because they would see people get beat up. People would just pull them to the side and just beat the crap out of them if they had Nebraska gear on. So they were leaving because he went to YO Tech or something like that. So he was, when he was in college, and they went out there for a game, but they were still Nebraska fans, and they made sure that nothing Nebraska related was on them so that they could get out safe and sound. You hear that. You hear the stories from the players with Coach Osborne telling them, make sure you keep your helmets on the sideline. People are throwing batteries and beer and water bottles and water balloons filled
Frozen
with
oranges.
frozen orange, like everything. Like you hear all these things, but I've never been to a game at Colorado Boulder, and B, have never really witnessed a good Colorado team to hate. Like I was here and I remember seeing them, obviously, because it wasn't that long ago, playing against Nebraska playing up there with Scott Frost, and them losing that game and how upset like Nebraska fans were. I was just mad because Nebraska lost a game, but I wasn't, to the level of, that hatred that anybody has for Colorado. So to me, this game is just another game, but to some people it's a lot more than that. But like you said, in terms of rivalry and hatred, for me, it's Iowa.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the team that I'll look at, because even with Oklahoma, like I understand the whole rivalry based in respect or whatever, and Oklahoma would always beat Nebraska, and I guess that's another reason why I'm just like, there's really no rivalry to me. They would always beat, just kind of like Wisconsin, where it's like there's a rivalry because there's a trophy, but Nebraska hasn't come out on the right side of that rivalry in quite some time. So for me, it's Iowa, but I understand the Colorado hatred based on the stories.
Well, and I thought Amy just put it pretty good at the Lincoln Journal-Star of like, it's just kind of where Nebraska fans have been, is basically that her parents hated Oklahoma, she hated Colorado, and now the younger generation hates Iowa. And everybody hates Texas all along the way. So
yeah,
whether you're in the conference with them or not. But
I feel like that's everybody. Everybody but Texas hates Texas.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's not just Nebraska. That is everybody hates Texas and their arrogance.
Boston College hates Texas.
Yeah,
they don't know why, but they do.
Yeah, because it's everybody. If you meet them, you'll hate them.
Yeah,
I mean that's all. If you ever run into them, you'll know why, and you'll hate them right away. So it's just. I'm kind of interested. And let us know what you guys think on the text line. Starter Hammond text line 402-464-5685. Your level of hatred for Colorado, because again, to me, I at least was there. Like the late 90s, the mid 90s, which I was probably too young for, was probably the height of it. I mean, from kind of 88 to 95, I think is when Nebraska, Colorado were just top 10 teams basically almost every year, at least top 25, battling each other, often for the Big 12. Or Big 8, excuse me, at that time. The late 90s, early 2000s, I mean, Rick Neuheisel was just kind of a weasel. Easy enough to hate as well. And so, you kind of had that going on. And his teams weren't bad. And again, to me, I hate to say it, but I'll just never forget the 62-36 game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was seriously, my life's never been the same since that day. Like when I was a kid, that's where Nebraska's place in college football was, a top 5 team. We'd be talking about championships. We'd be able to go online, argue with other fan bases, and have legitimate arguments as why we're the best. Since that day, everything has declined slowly, or and to this point to where hopefully Matt Rule can kind of pick it up. Hopefully maybe it's a Colorado thing. Maybe we beat them 62-36 and reverse the curse.
I say, is there a curse? It's you just have to beat them. Nebraska had 2 chances and couldn't beat them either time, and now if you finally get this done, will Nebraska return to prominence?
Well, they played them a lot in the Big 12 post that day in 2001.
There's something wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's because they brought Solich back and they honored him.
So Solich is supposed to break the curse as well.
It's a lot of curses that need to be broken. I guess we'll see what happens.
We're going to try a lot of different things because, something's got to be reversed here. We do have a call here on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We do not have a producer, so we're bringing you directly to air. Who's this?
My name's Tom.
Oh, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Nice to hear from you. What are your thoughts today?
Yeah, my disdain for Colorado goes back decades. When you walk into the stadium with your family and you're getting hit with what's called urine bombs, which is water balloons filled with piss, that'll make you a little upset.
Yeah, I don't think you ever get over that one.
Yeah, no, I've heard that as well, and that would have me hating Colorado as well. So, but again, I've never been to a game. I've never experienced bad Colorado fans, so I don't have that kind of hatred.
Well, thanks for the call, Tom. It is good to hear, because you hear those war stories and you're like, did that really happen? But you have people.
I don't like Colorado, but I don't hate Colorado. Like that was it's a thing. Like I grew up and it was you don't like Colorado. I was like, all right, cool. I don't like Colorado, but I never had that like, oh, I just want to beat them every year.
Well, and because it takes moments. Again, that's why the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry can never, in a lot of people's minds, be taken over by a Colorado or in Iowa, because you just need 1 versus 2. You need like the college football eyes. All the eyes are on you. National championship implications year in and year out. If you do that for 2 decades, it's going to be hard to catch up to that.
Yeah.
And so, but you do have a start here. All of the eyes of college football is upon Colorado and Nebraska this week. Last time Nebraska played Colorado, of course, we talked about it in 2019. That was also the last time Nebraska was ranked. The height of the Scott Frost era was probably that first half against Colorado.
You're right.
And then kind of dissipated from there. Yeah, Nebraska was ranked number 25 in that game.
That was year 2, right?
That was the second year.
Yeah.
And then in the first year, even
that was Maurice Washington running down the sideline.
Yeah, he had a big game that game. The year before, if you remember, was the Adrian Martinez
twisted knee.
Twisted knee.
Yeah.
So it was it had a little bit of animosity here with it.
Just a little bit.
And the Big Red takeover in Boulder, I'm sure they don't appreciate that. Now they're celebrating winning 60-40. So
we have more fans than they have fans in our home stadium.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, and that's also another part of Colorado, and that's what keeps an Oklahoma and Iowa maybe a little bit above them in my mind in rankings, is that when Colorado's bad, the fans disappear.
They're like, we don't care.
And it's just like, well, we have Denver Broncos. What do you guys have, pro sports? I'm like, okay, well, if your team's bad and you just jump to another sport, then what are we doing?
You're not a fan.
And you're not really,
ridiculous.
Shout out, to the loyal Colorado fans that have been there. Unless they're throwing piss bombs. And
yeah, no shout out.
Either way.
And you are bad.
Yeah.
Be better. Be better, Colorado fans.
Yeah.
And if it's still that bad, I don't know if it is. If it's still that bad, I hope that every Nebraska fan that's traveling out there makes it home safely. And with no pee bombs or beer being spilled on you or obscenities thrown your way. And also, obviously, for a Nebraska win.
Travel in packs.
Yes, 100%. Never travel alone.
That's right. Don't ever, not even go to the bathroom.
Nope, never travel alone. Don't travel alone.
You need
at least 3 people.
Yeah,
at the very least.
All right, we got some thoughts from you guys on the text line about the Colorado rivalry. We'll read those next. Jump more into this game. Also, plenty to talk about college football this upcoming week, and of course the NFL. So we'll do all that and the rest of the show on the Captain. Fastest 2 hours of radio, off to a good start. We'll be back after this.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule, or looking to dominate adventure in a Terex, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Half. This week's specials through September 12th are $2 off grass-finished flat iron steaks. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonsall Pool & Spa is having a Labor Day sale so good that they're offering it for the whole week. Purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now until September 11th. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today. It's the Labor Day sale from September 1st through the 11th at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2 or at bonsallpool.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Now through September 13th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. Plus, with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th. See Home Club for details.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire, 402-560-6197.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This school year's in full swing. Students are back in the class learning, making new friends, and developing new interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Parents, communication is key to helping your student maintain a strong start to the school year. Whether your student is in high school or navigating the new world of kindergarten, keep an open dialogue about what they're learning and how they are growing.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Power, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks for joining us here on The Captain. We're about 10 minutes away from a 24-hour countdown to the Colorado-Nebraska opening kickoff, and I am seriously like that. I will probably be counting down and looking at my watch very often. This countdown to kickoff. This is a very highly anticipated game. Man, it stinks Nebraska didn't pull out that one against Minnesota. Otherwise, it would be even more off the charts, which it's already off the charts. So
I can't imagine what it would be like if both teams were 1-0. Like, even if Nebraska, if the score was just flipped and Nebraska won like 13-10.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't have to be like a blowout or anything. Like, they just won a gritty Big Ten game. And it's just Nebraska's 1-0, Colorado's 1-0. Colorado's number 22, and they have this high-powered offense. Nebraska playing Big Ten football, leaned into it, running the ball, playing defense.
That's right.
Who's going to come out on top? Big Ten or future Big 12?
Past and future Big 12. But it is kind of funny too. I mean, obviously there is the clash of styles that we'll see there, but always kind of funny how the narrative completely changes whether you win or lose. Like if Nebraska would have won, we'd been talking about how good the defense held Minnesota down. The Nebraska controlled the ball with the ground game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd still have the turnovers to talk about, and that's where I think people know like obviously
if everything was the same, but the score was flipped.
That's right.
It'd have been like, wow, Nebraska played a great game.
But somehow, I mean, those turnover, how they were even in that game with what was it, -3 in the turnover category?
Yeah.
That's a big shout out to the defense. I mean, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Although I suppose the defense didn't have to, one of those turnovers just directly took points off the board before halftime. The defense didn't really have to cover for it.
Yeah. But still yeah, but the other three.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one that gets, taken away with the interception of Omar Brown. So there we go. We'll take those two cancel out. But the other three, shout out to the defense.
Except for that one time when they gave up the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, well, you can only do so much, Bach.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have thrown that pick in the end zone, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah, I mean that leads me, and I'm interested in kind of what you think. I want to get to the fan response here on the text line, but as I was kind of asking about the kind of hatred for Colorado, and maybe we'll kind of tease this for the next segment, but I'm generally interested how people kind of feel about Jeff Sims and the game plan for last week, and I've heard a lot about it. Well, it's not a sustainable game plan. I think it's Nebraska. I think you're back to where you were with Adrian Martinez, where it's almost going to have to be. I mean, you just don't have the weapons. I think unless you can get the traditional ground game going. I don't see Jeff Sims turning into a lethal threat, passing the ball left and right.
Is it?
And then the other thing is I don't see him as, at least, and I know he's played much better games than that. But if that's what you're going to get, then how much worse is it to have Purdy or Harbaugh in?
Is it a lack of weapons, or was it just a lack of Sims' ability to get the ball to those weapons? Like I feel like, and this has absolutely no merit because we haven't seen it, but I feel like the wide receivers and tight ends should be pretty successful. They are weapons in their own right, but it's going to take Sims going through his progressions, having time in the pocket to get the ball to those wide receivers and getting it to them, in stride, actually in their hands, not overthrowing them, actually getting the ball into their hands in order for us to see this. But I think that, based on the numbers, Billy Kemp should be a very reliable target and a good weapon for Sims. I think maybe the freshman will be able to show out and do something. Hopefully, I think Marcus Washington, again, towards the end of the year last year, showed that he is a really, what's the word? He has really good hands. He
reliable.
Can really, reliable. There we go. That's the word. A reliable receiver for Nebraska. And then in the tight end room, Nate Borkacher has shown that he's a pretty solid tight end. We still don't know what we're going to get from Thomas Fidoni. I hope that maybe this game is the one where he breaks out and shows that number one tight end in the country potential and skill that that everybody is so confident and hopeful in. But I think that Nebraska has plenty of weapons in terms of catching the ball. It's just going to take Sims getting comfortable and being able to or willing to go through his progressions as opposed to staring a receiver down in order for us to realize what kind of weapons Nebraska has. But like you said, the run game, he averaged 7 yards a carry. Like Gabe Irvin, he only had 7 carries. Like you need to take advantage of the fact that he was running strong and running well and give him the ball more times. You need to use your number 2 running back as a number 2 running back and not give him 1 carry the entire game. Anthony Grant has all the skills. You've seen it last year. The fumble issues are, hopefully they don't continue to be an issue all season. But again, he's the number 3 running back. He shouldn't have more carries than your number 1 or your number 2. That's just how it is.
Well, that's the depth chart again, and the fumbles got him there. But I think that's where, sometimes you read too much into the depth chart because what they, maybe they're sending a message to him, But in reality, when they won, they believe he's one of their best runners. Now
it showed with he had more carries than the other two.
They clearly believe in him, but they're still a little skittish because of his fumbling problem, and that's where you wonder. And Marcus Satterfield talked about. He said he's going to be able to make it up for it at some point this year, and that's what makes you kind of wonder, like going into this game. Have they completely lost trust in him? Is he not going to get, is maybe it's going to be reversed. Maybe he only gets 3 or 4 carries.
What does it mean? What do you mean sometime this year?
Yeah, sometime this year. Like, well, you might need him this week though. So
that's sometime this year.
Yeah. Well, that is land.
I don't know. It's going to be hard. And I mean, it's kind of like what you said, where if you truly don't have that confidence or if he is going to play as badly as he did against Minnesota, Jeff Sims, that is, I mean, is it going to be that much worse with like are Chuba and Heinrich that much worse than Jeff Sims, where if he throws 3 interceptions that you can't put one of them in?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of saw that with Adrian Martinez 2 years ago, where he threw the 3 picks against Purdue and you still didn't bring a backup in.
Yeah.
So, and we saw kind of the reason why.
I think it was 4 picks.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of picks, and you still didn't bring a backup in, and we kind of saw why when they did bring the backups in, and the offense failed to move at all. So, I don't know how much worse it can get, but if it truly is that bad, then Nebraska is going to be in for a world of hurt this season.
It will be, but I mean, that is also like the Anthony Grant fumbling issue is something to see and see if he gets early playing time or not. It's also interesting to see what if Jeff Sims has 2 early turnovers. I mean,
what do you do?
What's the leash on Jeff Sims? I mean, or maybe at least just to get him on the sideline. Sometimes, again, a benching doesn't have to be permanent, but maybe it's just like, hey, you're not so far above these other guys that we're not willing to give them a chance.
What happened to Lamar Jackson, the corner Lamar Jackson, when they benched him, they brought him back, and then he ends up going to the NFL. So sometimes it's just it clear your mind. That's all it is. It's not, hey, you're done. It's a dude, relax, chill out, think about what's going on. Just watch the game from this angle, and maybe you'll pick up on some things that you weren't catching out there.
Let's go to the text line here. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. I've asked what you guys thought about the Colorado rivalry. 3203 says, I've never thought of Colorado as a rivalry. There's only 2 times I can think Colorado beat Nebraska, where Nebraska shouldn't have lost. That was 2001 or in 1990 or 91. Other than that, Colorado hasn't been much of a problem. Henry says it's more about the fans. During the game, or he was saying the Missouri fans too. He hates them, which Missouri fans are historically bad as well. Downtown Scott says my cousin was 8 when Colorado fans poured beer on her head.
Yeah, that would do it.
Classy stuff there.
Yeah, that would do it.
Aaron says the hate for Oklahoma and Texas was real. Colorado was just really dislike. We said mostly how the fans treated them, not necessarily the play on the field.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's, it's
a fan base hatred.
I think a lot of the fan base is easy to hate. I think that would probably be the same type of thing with Missouri, because they didn't have too much of a. I mean, Nebraska and Missouri played for like a bell or something. I mean, they at least had like some.
Was it a victory bell?
A victory bell.
It's always a victory
There's
bell.
always victory bells. By the way, Nebraska and Colorado, I was looking this up earlier. I think they once played for a Bison Head trophy.
That sounds terrifying.
From according to Wikipedia, which doesn't lie.
Ever.
From 1951 to 1961, they played for a Bison's Head trophy, and Colorado lost the trophy after winning it in 1961, and were not able to give it back to Nebraska once they won in 1962.
Of course they did.
How do you lose it?
That would be that's a great trophy.
That is a good trophy. It's kind of weird because it's it's just the bison. It's just like one side.
Would it be it should be a bison head, and the bison has corn, like a corn pop in its mouth.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. And maybe Nebraska and Colorado can get that going again. Of course, Rick George was very open to future Nebraska.
There's some openings.
Which makes a lot of sense, by the way. For him to say that was like, well, duh, because these tickets are going like crazy.
Mm-hmm. This is good for
every
both
time
of us.
Nebraska comes. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. But all right, let's take a break. We'll be back. We've got plenty more to talk about this game. Also, I've got my famous Colorado alumni we got to get to. You got to know who's cheering against Nebraska this week. So we'll do a little bit of that. Team USA loses in basketball. And
world champions of what?
Yeah, we're not going to be the world champions. And Kadarius Toney just dropped another pass. So we'll talk all about that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
LES is hosting an EV Ride and Drive event at Haymarket Park on Sunday, September 24th. Attendees can sign up to test drive a variety of electric vehicles. Visit les.com/drive to learn more.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Now through September 13th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. Plus, with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th. See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with more areas of smoke and haze and an afternoon high of around 86. Tonight, mostly clear skies and a low around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance for showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies and a high of around 86. The meteorologist Colin Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org and join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at him short. Look at him short. And the captain.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34, gets the touchdown. Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bogovan.
I've talked to a few cats. They said that Bog got some game, man.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer. Here he is, Vershawn Jackson.
We are back here on the Captain, and we are indeed less than 24 hours from kickoff in Boulder. Reminder, once again, we got a lot of ticket personalities traveling to Boulder today, or even Nick, who took an early plane trip yesterday, will be on again for the happy hour. But join us for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you're out in Colorado, Mountain Time, that's 7 o'clock. But for here in Lincoln, it'll be 8 o'clock. And then, of course, immediately following the game, we'll have post-game shows. Jay Foreman post-game show. He just debuted that last week. Was fantastic. And then after that, we'll have another post-game show. So keep it tuned in to 93.7 The Ticket for your pregame and post-game festivities, needs, and wants tomorrow. As we get closer to this thing, still getting some response on the text line, some interesting stories from people and in their Colorado experiences. Again, most of them not very good.
Not the greatest.
Notorious BIB asks, any word at all from the captain today, or has he been taken over by the bus fans already? We've not heard from him. I don't know. They might be able to call in later for a segment here on the captain. But
he said he was going to leave at like 4 a.m.
Is it? Did he? Yeah, he's going to take his time.
He like hit the road and he's like, I take my time when I drive.
Yeah.
I'll stop. I'll do that. I don't drive too fast. He's like, I'm good. Like if I get there at 5 p.m., I'll get there. And it's like, if you're leaving at 4 and you get there at 5, what are you doing?
Take a nap on the side of the road or something. It was kind of interesting when I went to Minnesota last week, with a group of guys. We were going to plan on getting there a few hours early, and we missed some turns or there's some traffic. We ended up walking. We ended up walking up to our seats right at kickoff. So, I mean, from that Lincoln to Minneapolis, obviously there wasn't much more leeway that we could have had.
Yeah.
So it is good to try to get there early. We have heard from Terrell on Facebook. He says cut his mic box. So along with some comparisons to Colin Cowherd earlier, you at least have the ire of Terrell Farley today.
Hey, Farley, you're not here. All right. You want to be a part of the show? You want to talk about cutting people's mics? Call in. Go ahead. Join the show. Give us your takes, Mr. Black Shirt.
That's right. Mr. One of the best linebackers of all time.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? What do you think you scoring touchdowns or something on the defensive side of the ball? Get out of here.
Man, it would be nice. Anybody that watched Farley in his days would always get kind of the same response. Like, man, it'd be nice to have one of those Terrell Farley.
It'd be really nice to have a Terrell Farley.
It would, and that speed at linebacker, he's going to be put to test, especially with Dylan Edwards coming out of the backfield. What do you think? I mean, my idea earlier in the week is maybe Gifford as kind of like you almost have to lock him down. That kind of takes away from your flexibility of the 3-5. So they might try some different lineups on him. But man, he led the team in receiving out of the backfield.
I mean, the benefit of the 3-3-5, at least in my eyes, and I am no defensive expert on any sense of the word, is that you're going to have, 5 defensive backs. You're going to have some more athletic linebackers, the jack or whatever they're calling it, out there. So you'll be able to take one of them and put them on a Dylan Edwards, him coming out of the backfield for receptions, and still not have to lose much in the defensive backfield. My issue is that you're going to have Dylan Edwards and you're going to have Travis Hunter and you're going to have, whatever other receiver that they have out there. And if you're out there, trying to play zone or double cover one of them, that's going to take away from the pressure that you need to put on Shedeur Sanders. Like you're going to have to, and if you're sending blitzes and you're going one-on-one coverage on the outside, if you're going man coverage, that pressure has to get there. It has to force him out of the pocket, and it has to force him to make a quick decision or throw the ball away, because if he has any sort of time back there and you're in one-on-one coverage with the athleticism of these wide receivers, it might be a problem. Now, Nebraska has good defensive backs in their own right, but this will be a really, really big test for them, because against Minnesota, they were kind of tested with the Minnesota's 2 wide receivers and their, big body tight end. I don't know how big Colorado's tight end is, but I don't think he's going to be as big as Brevin Spanford was from Minnesota. So maybe they won't have to deal with that kind of size for Colorado, but they're going to have to deal with speed. And when you saw the 2 wide receivers for Minnesota just kind of taking those underneath routes, getting the catches, turning upfield, that's exactly what Colorado's going to do. They're going to take advantage of the space that Nebraska gives them. If they give them space, they're going to take those, and you're going to have to gang tackle like they did against Minnesota, because if you're going one-on-one and if you miss that tackle, again, the speed that Colorado has, they're going house call. You saw it against TCU. One missed tackle, and it's all over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, tackling is going to be very important. For what it's worth, that tight end that you did mention, Michael Harrison, 2 catches for 12 yards, not very much into the game plan for last week. 6'3", 215. So that's kind of what you're looking at for tight end, not as much as the weapon. Of course, a lot of people know Dylan Edwards and Travis Hunter. I mean, I think you're gonna talk years and years from this, the time that Nebraska was able to play Travis Hunter, maybe twice, we'll see. But the other guys, Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn Jr., deserve to be mentioned too, because those I mean, they could be the guys that catch the winning touchdown against Nebraska. Weaver had 6 receptions, 118 yards. Jimmy Horn Jr. had 11 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. And interestingly enough, both of these guys were good pickups from South Florida. Both of them playing over there in South Florida and coming over to Colorado under Deion Sanders. So very interesting stuff. Their kicker punter also transfers. The kicker, by the way, was 1 of 2 last week. That's his college career. He transferred in for somewhere else, but didn't start there. So there's not much of a scouting report on him. I think he hit a 44-yarder or something like that. If you're kind of trying to figure out how long his field goal range is, I guess it was a 49-yarder. So that's kind of interesting. I believe, and his name is Jace Feely. Their punter, I believe,
Feely.
Yeah, Feely.
Like Jay Feely?
I'm not sure. His name is Jace Feely, so maybe
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, see if Jace Feely is related to a Feely.
Jace.
JACEFEELY.
Yep, Jace Feely.
Yep. And Mark Vassett is their punter. He has had some previous experience. He averaged about 44 yards a kick. So pretty darn good kicker.
The son of former NFL kicker Jay Feely.
There you go.
There it is.
Well, then he's got some pretty good lineage then, but we'll see how
apparently
well kicker he is in his
he hit a 62-yard field goal to end practice up at Colorado.
Hey, those longer kicks at Colorado don't count as much.
If it goes through the uprights during the game,
it still counts as 3.
The game is up at Colorado.
Which is something to pay attention to for Nebraska as well. Maybe they can extend their field goal range a little bit.
Maybe. We'll see what happens with your freshman kicker.
Yeah. Yep.
Both kickers, not a lot of experience in the collegiate ranks.
That's right. So it could come down to that. It's the same case for Minnesota, Nebraska last week. And man, it was just set up perfectly for the home debut, I suppose, in a Husker uniform for Tristan Alvano, and just obviously that got turned into the Minnesota's. What is this, Dragon Kisich or something? I can't remember his last name. But a freshman kicker himself. So it turned into his big day. But in any case, still a lot to kind of cover here. I did want to mention a few college football notes that I saw over the week too. Jim Harbaugh reportedly set on an NFL return if a job is offered in the offseason. We hear this all the time.
So Harbaugh's going to go to the NFL, because if he says that now, somebody's going to fire their coach at the end of the season just to get a chance at hiring Harbaugh.
Well, and they might. It's just that we've done this the last
Arizona
3
Cardinals. Come on down.
But they've had this has been the same case the last 3 off seasons.
You're not wrong.
And Harbaugh does a good job, by the way, of not batting it down and flirting with it so that he can get more money out of Michigan or wherever he's going to be. I believe this last time it was the same old and now I looked at the NFL, I turned it down. Now I'm a Michigan man for the next 10 years or whatever. And you're just like, okay. So I would
been a very short 10 years.
Yeah, that did turn around pretty quickly. Yeah, not surprised to see that pop back up. Also, I thought this was kind of interesting. It's been talked about because it's a few days old, but I just want to give my take on it as an Arizona Cardinals fan, that Caleb Williams, his dad, has said that he might not go pro next year if he doesn't like the team with the number 1 pick. I think that's silly and stupid, because the team with the number 1 pick is always awful. That's the point.
Well, did you hear his reasoning? And I don't know if he was like trying to compare it to any other league, but I feel like it's the same in every other league. He's like, it's the worst team and the worst run franchise and all this stuff, and it just doesn't make any sense and it's backwards and all this stuff. And I go, he's like, because the NFL is just set on parity. And I was like, yeah, that's how it's always been. That's how it is in the NFL, in the NBA, in the MLB, everywhere. They're not just gonna open it up and be like, okay, well, these are the guys coming out. And we're going to give the best team the number one pick. Like, that's not how this works.
And it's like, what do you want? You want to be drafted by Kansas City? You can go and be the backup.
Like, where do you want to go, Mr. Williams? That's what he wants?
A free agent, I guess.
Be like, hello, Caleb. Where would you like to go? What team would you like to play for? He'd probably be like, I want to go to the LA Rams. Like, okay, well, maybe the LA Rams will have a bad season. You better you want to play there, you better hope they have a bad season.
Or you can do an Eli Manning and just say, I'm just not going to go there.
Just be like, yeah, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what Elway did?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not playing there. Like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure Bo Jackson got drafted by Tampa Bay.
Did he?
Or
did a similar thing?
He went on it was in his 30 for 30. And I'm sure the Texans will be able to help me out. I think he went on like a visit or something. They flew him out and he almost or did like lose his eligibility or something like that. And that's why he went and played baseball first before he went to the NFL and he went with the Raiders. I think it's why he played baseball for as long as he did without playing football. I could be wrong on that. The text will help me out.
Yeah.
It was something like that where Tampa Bay like did something and it pissed him off, and that's why he doesn't like the Buccaneers.
Fair enough. The Buccaneers were pretty. Those are the creamsicle days, so they were pretty awful back then.
You imagine Bo Jackson in a creamsicle jersey?
You like those?
That would have been a great jersey. I love the creamsicle.
I don't know if I still come around it. Like most throwbacks, I can dig that. Orange and red just doesn't go together. It's just
it works.
It doesn't.
Give me a Warren Sapp creamsicle jersey. We're good to go.
I don't think so. I've never come around.
A little Derek Brooks action. Big fan.
Well, see, then, but I like what they've done. The skull and all that.
I mean, it's okay.
I like what they got,
and it's okay.
Yeah, I like what they've done with it.
Whatever.
It works a little bit better. Also, TCU's linebacker Johnny Hodges said Tuesday that they were the laughing stock of college football. Do you think? Do you see TCU as a laughing stock? Obviously, they had the the jokes all year about the Georgia game and not being anywhere close to it. So I can see from the inside how they see that. But I think Clemson's the laughing stock of college football right now.
Yeah, you're okay, TCU.
Yeah.
It wasn't. You're not the laughing stock. It was Clemson.
And to be fair, for TCU, sorry, but it's because you're not that guy. I mean, if you were Clemson and then had the same performances that you just had, then you would be.
Look, people were making excuses for why you lost. Nobody was making excuses for Clemson. They just said, wow, Clemson sucks. For TCU as well, they only have 3 returners on defense. Well, they played a really good game, but Colorado just did. It was only 3 points, like all this stuff. Like everybody's making excuses for TCU. You weren't the laughing stock. It's just that, you played in the national championship last year. You were ranked 17th. You played in the national championship and you were ranked 17th. You're not the laughing stock.
Yeah.
If you played in the national championship and you were ranked in the top 5 and lost, you probably would have been the laughing stock. But that's not how these things work, because as Bach said, you're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
But you're okay, buddy. You're
good.
Right.
You'll be okay.
Laughing at you.
Maybe you'll still win the Big 12. I doubt it, because Oklahoma looks really good. But hey, we'll see what happens. It's okay, Horned Frogs.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're okay, buddy.
And we like you little Horned Frogs. You guys are cute.
Yeah, you guys are cool with with your little Horned Frogs sign.
Yeah, we like that.
Look at you.
By the way, TCU, Clemson, and Nebraska all lost because of red zone turnovers. So, I mean, that's something to pay attention, obviously, close to. I asked...
who throws that kind of pass?
Who would do that?
Who throws a pass that gets picked off in the red zone? Yeah, crazy.
What do you think about field goals? I mean, Colorado's going to try to outscore Nebraska, obviously.
What do you mean?
That's their game. Well, I'm saying, like, early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a field goal game? Is what I'm saying.
Take the points when you
take the points.
Take the points when you can get
them.
them.
I mean, you almost. It's kind of this. It's kind of this. Again, these styles are so completely different that it makes it kind of interesting. And obviously, it depends on the game time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think Matt Rule learned a little bit from last week, or maybe I at least hope he did. Especially that one before half. That's what I thought on 3rd down, kick the field goal. Or run a draw or something, or do something. Like,
they didn't have any timeouts, so a running play would have been really hard to. It was 11, so it was 11 seconds. If they run a running play, if the defender just like keeps the player down, doesn't get off of him, like the chances of you getting everybody set, spiking the ball, and having however many seconds left are very slim. So the pass play, if you're looking for a touchdown in that situation, really was your only option. And I said it on the captain, and I'll keep saying it. I don't think that the play was bad. I think the throw was bad.
Yeah.
The play and what he was trying to do makes sense. Now, he should have thrown it to Borkature in the front of the end zone. That's the easy play. That would have been the touchdown, easy, whatever. But the throw to the corner of the end zone, you can't put it on a line like that when you have no space.
Yeah.
You have to lob it to the corner, so your wide receiver has to make a great play to catch it. Like that's your only option, because if he drops it, it's out of bounds. If not, he catches it and it's a touchdown. Like you have to put it in a spot where that's the only play.
But to me, that's again part of knowing your personnel, and maybe that's Matt Rule learning again on the fly of who he has. I mean, obviously he believes in the quarterback, the young quarterback at this point. Well,
he's not young.
Not necessarily.
He's not young.
Jeff Sims, though, he's young in general, just not as far as a college quarterback.
He gives like 3 years of starting experience. He's not young.
But so I mean, at that point, but I mean, again, you still kind of have to have familiarity. Either this is obviously has belief in him, and you don't want to take that away necessarily. But again, that's kind of knowing your personnel and shifting it over to this week is like maybe we don't press him to make the big play. Instead, just kind of kick the field goal. But it's going to be interesting if you're down 14-0, and then you got you get stalled at like the 20 or something. Are you going to kick a field? I mean, are you going to be in that game to feel like it's going that way? So I mean, we'll see. And I mean, that could happen. Nebraska, especially with the altitude there, you kind of figure it might take a few possessions to kind of get going into it. So that's something to pay attention to. Is how this game starts. And also I find it intriguing just the kickoff. If Nebraska wins the flip, because of that, maybe you do take the ball. I'm very rarely a take the ball guy. But in this case, it might make a little bit of sense, because the flip side of that is you're adjusting. Colorado's offense gets on the field, scores a touchdown. The place is going absolutely bananas. And then you feel like you already got to play catch up.
But you could take all of the air out of the stadium. Think about it this way. All of the air out of the stadium. If you kick it off and you stop them, 3 and out. If you keep them if they have to punt, if they throw an interception, if they fumble the ball, if you just stop them and they don't score on that drive, you take all of the air out of the stadium. But you do have that risk of one big play or just driving down the field on you and scoring a touchdown, even getting a field goal. Would be considered a pretty big win for Colorado in that instance. So, and like you said, the crowd will go absolutely nuts. So it's a risk, but I think in that instance, and getting the ball in the second half to start the second half, I think with the chance of, having that faith in your defense to just, again, take all of the energy and excitement away from the Colorado fan base by shutting down their offense on their first drive, I think that's what they're going to try and do. I believe that if they win the coin toss, they're going to elect to kick the ball off, defer to the second half, and try to ruin the party for Coach Prime's offense.
Yeah, and I think that's the traditional route. I'm just kind of thinking with adjusting to that air, and talking to Striker, Jay, or guys that have played out there, that's a real thing. It takes a few possessions to get it going. So, that's just kind of my thoughts there. We'll see what happens. I would never be in any way. I'd never say it's the wrong idea to get the ball in the second half to start it off. That's traditionally the right way to go about it. All right, let's take a quick break here on the captain on 93.7 The Ticket. We got a lot more to talk about this game. Also, I want to do this coming up in this next segment. Famous Colorado alumni. You've got to know the people that are cheering against Nebraska this week. There's some interesting ones in there. So we'll do that and have some fun coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
LES is hosting an EV Ride and Drive event at Haymarket Park on Sunday, September 24th. Attendees can sign up to test drive a variety of electric vehicles. Visit les.com/drive to learn more.
This is your high school minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Here are your Week 2 high school football results. In Class A, Lincoln Southwest would just fall short to Columbus, losing by 3, 24-21. In an inter-city clash, Lincoln East would get their win over Lincoln Southeast, 31-28. In Class B, Elkhorn North would dominate in their win over Lincoln Northwest, 48-13. Lincoln Pius X would also lose in their game against Seward 20-13, and Waverly would get a win over Beatrice, dominating on offense and defense, winning 42-0. In Class C1, Lincoln Christian beat Platteview 20-13, and switching to volleyball on Tuesday, September 5th, the Lincoln East Spartans would win in their intercity clash against Lincoln North Star in 3 sets. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. No discussions of how money works. No game plan for how education supports your future job or career. And certainly no coaching about how to start or run a business. Too many young people leave school without critical skills in financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship to reach their potential in life. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field, but we can't do it alone.
Be a game changer. Visit ja.org/volunteer.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org. And join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Price Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come with both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with more areas of smoke and haze and an afternoon high of around 86. Tonight, mostly clear skies and a low around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance for showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies and a high of around 86. Meteorologist Colin Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Keep your planter. Upgrade your technology with a John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit from Landmark Implement. Choose from ExactEmerge, MaxEmerge 5, or MaxEmerge 5E electric drive row units. Take your planter to the next level. Improve yield potential and profitability without buying new. Get new technology, increased performance, and confidence from your planter that's already in your shed. Contact your local Landmark location to order your John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit and experience the Landmark difference.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If you're a veteran or know a veteran who's having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, the Veterans Crisis Line provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. Dial 988, then press 1, and you'll be connected to a trained crisis counselor who will listen, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. Thank you for your service. We owe you our support. Dial 988, then press 1. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the 93.7 The Ticket on the Captain, and a little bit of update again from this morning from the FIBA World Cup in basketball. Germany beat Team USA 113-111 to advance to the FIBA World Cup final. They will take on Serbia for the title. United States will take on Canada for the third place game. So Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, and Daniel Theis.
And Mo Wagner.
And Mo Wagner.
Both of the Wagners.
Yeah, shout out Mo Wagner, who was got his name chanted when Nebraska beat them back in the year he took them to the championship. Nebraska still didn't get to the tournament that year.
Whatever.
Shame on the NCAA tournament committee that year. But in any case, not necessarily great news, but something that it's not. The United States didn't win last FIBA World Cup either. They're not sending their best representation. So
Looks like Noah Lyles wasn't wrong.
Well, to a degree.
World champions of what?
Of beating Austin Reeves. You know what I mean? Like, they're not sitting their best group.
You want to say that you got the best players. Well, there was your chance. You didn't do it. But in all reality, that sucks that the USA couldn't beat Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and you have the USA, all of the players on Team USA play in the NBA, in the best league in the world. Germany, they have 4, 5, however many they have. Like, it shouldn't. If you want to claim superiority over the game of basketball, even with your not all-star best players, you should still be able to beat these countries that you feel that you are so superior to in this game. Like, even though you still had multiple all-stars on your team, and you still lose to a German team with, I don't know if any of those guys are all-stars.
No,
Like,
they're
they
not.
play in the NBA, but they're not all-stars.
But the thing is about those teams, too, is they do take pride in their country, and those guys all play together basically any chance they get to represent their country. So, I mean, they usually, generally get a lot of, it's kind of like that old guy team at the, when you play in your league, that's just like, they're so good at just running plays and knowing how to play with each other, compared to the United States, was just like, all right, anybody who's not under 25, basically, and had any interest in doing this, we can throw you out there. But they don't play together. I mean, they just kind of
didn't play
together.
They also didn't play Brandon Ingram at all.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Because in terms of looking at that team, maybe he's hurt. I don't know. But
He's been struggling a little bit.
Looking at that team, like, he's one of the better players on that team.
Yeah.
Again, a team filled with NBA talent, and one of the better players, at least one of the better scorers, easily not playing.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see that, but Serbia and Germany should be a good game, so there's at least that. And if you want to watch the third place game, USA and Canada, there's a little bit of rivalry there.
You can watch RJ Barrett go off.
Oh, Dylan Brooks is annoying. He's on that team.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah,
Canada's got a little bit of a squad.
They've always had some guys coming out of Canada be pretty good. All right, let's get to the famous Colorado alumni. So you know who's cheering against Nebraska this week. We'll start with Lynn Cheney, who's married to Dick Cheney. Of course, he was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of rivalry in the Cheney household.
What is those things that those flags? House divided.
Yeah, house divided flags there. We'll see. Colorado's pretty well represented as far as former, or I shouldn't say former, but people that cover sports. Chris Fowler, of course, went to Colorado. Jim Gray.
The only bad thing about Chris Fowler.
Yeah, that's right. I love Chris Fowler. That is the only bad thing about him. Jim Gray went to Colorado. So did Rick Riley, longtime Sports Illustrated reporter. So they're pretty good in the sports journalism category. As many people might know, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, co-creators of South Park, Colorado graduates.
The only bad thing about South Park.
That's just yeah, fair enough.
Has South Park made a Coach Prime episode yet?
Oh, they will, won't they?
They had to have.
I don't know if they have yet.
I'm gonna look it up.
I like when they include Colorado and even Nebraska. I remember that episode they went to Nebraska.
I don't know if I could say this on the air. When Cartman pretended to be a owner of people and went to Colorado and was talking to them about their football team, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'd like to purchase."
That's right. I don't even know how they got like Colorado to be okay with that. I'm not really sure.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
I don't think anybody is okay with it.
With
but
showing
they just
up on South Park,
they just do it.
They just do it and see what happens. Fair enough. Somebody else, some other Colorado graduate, Robert Redford, not necessarily of our time, but a famous actor.
Mhm.
Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, along with Steve Jobs.
That's weird.
If you didn't know, there's a co-founder. There was a
Well,
co-founder.
I knew that, but I didn't.
He,
Right
by the way,
there, huh?
as I was looking him up, very scared about AI and it taking over. So keep that in
As
mind
we all should.
as we move forward. Yeah, he's
There's no Coach Prime episode yet.
Yeah.
But there's a Colorado website that says hopefully South Park does a Coach Prime impersonation.
I'm sure they will. By the way, Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, he did not actually graduate from Colorado.
Oh, that
He-
doesn't count?
He was expelled in his first year for hacking the university's computer
Oh,
system.
that definitely doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Okay.
Do you think Colorado's like, oh yeah, he went here,
They do, kind of, because he turned out to be rather successful.
but you expelled him? You can't claim you can't say that he's one of you after you kicked
Maybe
him
he's
out.
not alumni, but he was there.
No, it
Also,
doesn't count.
Jonah Hill went to Colorado, did not graduate.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, but he's still a Colorado Buffalo.
But he's a Colorado Buffalo
was.
fan. I've seen him wearing Nebraska gear.
Yeah, that's true. He is wearing Nebraska.
Mm.
Wonder where his allegiances lie. Maybe he was mad about. He didn't get kicked out. He just didn't.
He just didn't graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, became an actor.
Robert Bob Howsam, the former president and CEO of the Cincinnati Reds during their Big Red Machine dynasty, where they won 2 titles between 67 and 77, is a Colorado grad. Also, Chris Raff should appreciate this. He was the founder of the Denver Broncos, one of the co-founders of the AFL, Colorado grad.
Disgusting.
Mm.
So we have him to blame.
That's right. That's right. Fictionally, did you watch Better Call Saul?
No.
Oh, didn't watch. All right. Kim Wexler fictionally went to Colorado. too.
Oh, well, there you go.
She was a character there.
Fictional graduate.
I watched. I heard that got really good. I watched. I think the first season.
I never watched Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Oh,
watch
you
Better
didn't?
Call Saul.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
It was like a rivalry in my in college because one of my roommates watched Breaking Bad and I watched The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
So we were like, I'm never gonna watch your show. So I didn't.
Speaking of Walking Dead, maybe you'd recognize. Do you remember Aaron from The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Ross Marquardt is
Yeah.
his name. Colorado graduate.
There you go.
Yeah, they have. I don't know if he ever turned into a zombie, but they have a zombie in The Walking Dead. How about this? We have Colorado to thank for Chipotle. Founder and chairman and CEO of Chipotle, Steve Ells, Colorado grad.
Dang it.
So every time you eat Chipotle, remember you're giving money to the Buffaloes.
And that, my friends, is why Qdoba is better.
We've settled the argument. Qdoba is better. 18 astronauts. The Big Ten has a lot of astronauts when you look it up.
Yeah.
Not Nebraska so much, but everybody else. Colorado
What
also.
are we doing? Why are we slacking in astronauts?
We're just not an astronaut school, I don't think.
I think we should become
Space
an
travel.
We should become an astronaut school.
We got a lot of space travel stuff going on in Lincoln.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I
Probably
didn't
not.
go there. What do UNK? We don't have any. I don't.
That's right.
Do we have any astronauts? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we should look it up before we claim that they don't. They unfortunately they've had 2 of their astronauts have passed away. One in the Columbia and one in the Challenger. So from some of those explosions, but kind of interesting there. Also, Caroline Polachek, which I'm sure nobody's heard of, but I found her on YouTube, and she's a great musician. Check it out if you want to. She also Colorado graduate.
Well, now I won't.
Yeah, now you won't do it. But yeah, there you go. You get a favorite? Probably the Chipotle guy.
Well, not a favorite. Now
No.
I'm mad at Chipotle.
No.
Bryce says every CU grad is fictional.
that could be true as well.
Cubsker ate at Chipotle last night. Well, you know what to do, Cubsker.
Yeah. What's that?
I don't know. I thought he would know.
I feel like a traitor. Yeah, don't eat Chipotle today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's how we'll ban it.
But he did on Sunday after Nebraska wins. I'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's money because you lost.
I'm sure none. I mean, I don't know. I always wonder with those things, like how much, especially like the co-founder of Apple, like how much of that money comes back. Well, he got
kicked out. He's not
giving
back.
money. But you'd think, yeah. But people think of the Oracle of Omaha and think, well, maybe he donates to Nebraska. It's like, yeah, not really.
Probably not.
He doesn't really have to. He's got the money. He doesn't want to. It's kind of interesting there. I always like to run through the alumni. So next week, tune in for Northern Illinois alumni.
Love the famous alumni.
Could be great.
Love that section of the show.
Yes. All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll wrap things up on a Good Sense Friday. We're also getting sandwiches pretty soon, so we're excited for that. But shout out to Good Sense. We'll wrap things up here on the Captain before getting you ready for Adam Carricker on the ticket for a Friday. That's on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Creekat, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Price Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Fierce cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Keep your planter. Upgrade your technology with a John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit from Landmark Implement. Choose from ExactEmerge, MaxEmerge 5, or MaxEmerge 5E electric drive row units. Take your planter to the next level. Improve yield potential and profitability without buying new. Get new technology, increased performance, and confidence from your planter that's already in your shed. Contact your local Landmark location to order your John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit and experience the Landmark difference.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof that it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org and join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
If you're a veteran or know a veteran who's having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, the Veterans Crisis Line provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. Dial 988, then press 1, and you'll be connected to a trained crisis counselor who will listen, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. Thank you for your service. We owe you our support. Dial 988, then press 1. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Now through September 13th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. Plus, with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th. See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with more areas of smoke and haze and an afternoon high around 86. Tonight, mostly clear skies and a low around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance for showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies and a high around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here running up things on the Captain on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks again to Good Sense for bringing us our sandwiches and our drinks. I was enjoying that pepper bread. Oh, so delicious. Have you
Pepper
ever had
bread?
it? Oh, yeah. Get some pepper bread.
Just bread with
Good Sense,
pepper?
have you ever tried it? Yeah, if you're a pepper guy or gal, that's the way to go. Get some pepper bread from Good Sense. What do you get from Good Sense?
Chicken bacon ranch.
I can't go wrong there.
It's delicious.
Except for me. I don't like bacon or ranch.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
But
I
yeah,
also
yeah,
don't like ranch, so I don't have ranch on it, but I get chicken bacon ranch.
Fair enough. A question, or actually a comment from Montana Husker says, new listener, I'm liking the show. Well, you're in luck because this is not the show. Usually Terrell Farley and Vershawn Jackson are here. Rico and I have a show called The Ticket Water Cooler. Actually, it's probably a good time to announce we no longer have that show.
The Ticket Water Cooler is dead.
It's dead.
It
Sorry
has.
to all our Ticket Water Cooler listeners.
Thank you all for listening
Thanks for
throughout the years for the Ticket Water Cooler with Bach and myself. It is no longer around. It might, as in situations like this, might make a couple of appearances here and there, but in terms of a daily version of the Ticket Water Cooler, it is no more.
R.I.P.
It has been taken over, which is totally fine because it's been taken over by Adam Carricker 4 times a week and Steve Taylor and myself on Wednesdays.
Yeah. It's almost as if like those guys have more to say about Husker football than we do. Maybe they played or something.
I don't think so. Players?
I'm gonna look them up.
Former professional. I don't know.
I don't know.
All Americans.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But thanks for the comment. We also like to think we can put on a pretty good show too. So we have fun in the least, and hopefully at least you can take that from me. And that's what I was like. I don't know if you're a big late night talk show guy, but Craig Ferguson actually was in Omaha last week. And some people watch the show and think it's so silly, so stupid. I'm not going to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
He had the most fun doing his talk show that it just drew me in. At first, I was the same way. I was like, because he took over for Craig Kilborn at one time, former ESPN anchor. And I always watched Craig Kilborn. And then the first couple episodes, I was like, this guy's stupid. I'm not watching this. And then eventually he became my favorite late night talk show host because I'd go back to him. It's like, gosh, he has so much fun doing what he does.
This is good.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter if you're having fun as long as he's having fun.
Exactly.
And that's what I like to do in radio. I don't care if you like it. I'm having fun.
Yeah, at some point you're going to have fun. And if you don't, then I'm sorry. But also, I'm not sorry.
No. because we're having fun.
I am enjoying myself talking about whatever I decide to talk about on that day. And I hope that if you don't learn anything from it, I hope you're at least entertained.
That's right.
Although I do hope you learn something.
Yeah. Like Jace Feely is Jay Feely's son.
There you go.
There you go.
You learn something new every day,
Yeah, there you go.
hopefully.
We are running out of time on the show. And speaking of running out of time, a few different coaches from college football were upset with the new clock rules. Chip Kelly and Lane Kiffin both spoke against the new clock rules, which you might have noticed. Nebraska had one possession in the first quarter against Minnesota.
That was wild.
In games like that, where both teams want to control the clock, that might happen. You probably won't see that happen against Colorado, who doesn't care as much for time of possession.
Oh my gosh, I just thought of something.
What's that?
Wisconsin.
We'll see.
If they continue to run the ball, okay,
Yeah.
just old Wisconsin.
Yeah, old Wisconsin.
They could possess the ball for 2 quarters. Like another team would never see the ball.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, last year's Wisconsin with the new clock.
Oh my
rules,
goodness,
you'd get like 4 possessions each team.
that's disgusting.
And also incredible.
You love that.
I love that.
I hate it.
That 3-0 score at halftime last week in the stadium. You should. I mean, I was feeling like I was on top of the world. That's my type of game.
Hold on. Could you imagine? Here we go. This is just way in the weeds, and this would never happen. But imagine this. Picture this. Nebraska was old Wisconsin. Nebraska receives the ball, goes 3 and out, punts the ball down to the 10 for Wisconsin. Whole first quarter, the rest of the first quarter into the second quarter, Wisconsin just has the ball. It's just running. 5 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards,
Huddling
2 yards,
up.
6 yards,
Yep.
huddle up, wasting all of the clock. Last like 2 minutes of the second quarter, they score a touchdown. Gives it back to Nebraska. Nebraska, 2 minutes, maybe gets a field goal. Wisconsin receives the ball for the third quarter. Whole third and fourth quarter.
They really would have to be getting that like the 3 yard and the cloud of dust.
It'd be like I'm saying, it's 3 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards.
Yeah.
4 yards,
first down,
6 yards. Like just consistently getting first downs, just possessing it the whole time. You can have a game that ends 7-3 and you get 2 possessions.
That's where points matter. I like games where points matter. Every point
That's
counts.
a you game
That's
if I've
my
ever
type
heard of
game,
one.
Yeah.
I would break my TV.
Like I said, that 13-10 game was that's my type of game right there. But I'd rather Nebraska win. For what it's worth, FBS games are 2 minutes on average and 4.6 plays shorter total so far. So you only take about 5 plays per game, but still to me.
But you're getting like 100 more commercials.
Yeah, and they're getting more commercials, so that's why the games aren't. The games I guess are shorter, but the broadcasts aren't. So what's the point?
Ridiculous. It's the amount of everybody's favorite sequence is touchdown. What is it? Touchdown, extra point, commercial, kickoff, commercial, 3 and out commercials. Like,
man,
they just throw commercials in every
commercials.
conceivable second, and I can't imagine it being very fun for the people in attendance at those games.
Well, it was kind of cool because half the commercials are Dion commerals.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
Well,
what
for us, like when you're watching it on TV, like sure, whatever, it doesn't matter to you. But if you're at late October, you're at Michigan, and that's what's happening, and it's just commercials. TV timeout. TV timeout. You're just sitting there, you're like, I need this game to go faster.
It's interesting. I didn't really notice it at the game, but like you're saying, maybe it's because it was 79 degrees and just a perfect day.
Yeah.
I didn't really think
But
about
later
it
in the
too much.
year,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But
when
again,
it's snowing.
It's not too much longer. So it's not that bad. But I've argued against this the whole time because I don't want less college football. Like they're doing all like, okay, so they did this, obviously the idea is to keep it quicker and safer for players with less plays. And then they're adding a playoff. They're adding more game. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of the same thing the NFL was kind of arguing against, like, we care about the safety of our players. Here's another week of football.
Yep.
Like you're money hungry. And
Here's
college football is clearly money hungry.
Less preseason to get you prepared for the season, 2 more weeks during the season, and 2 more playoff teams. Here we go.
It was kind of interesting too because I guess the preseason did kind of go by kind of quick this year. Didn't you feel like it?
Oh yeah, it went by super quick. It's it's 3 games and then an off week and then the regular season starts.
Yeah.
But it felt like the preseason just started and now, roster cuts happened and everybody's just like, "Oh, this guy's no longer on that team." And you're like, "Oh, I thought he did pretty well in the one game that I got to see him in."
So the new rules too. Tater asked, "Do incomplete passes still stop the clock?" They do, but it's first downs that no longer stop the clock. and it's supposed to be unless it's like the last 2 minutes, but
unless it's last 2 minutes of the second and fourth quarter.
Okay, that's what I was.
But in the first and the third, it just keeps going.
Yeah, lame.
Which I understand, like it's kind of like NFL. In NFL games, they still get however many possessions, but the college games, I don't know why, and I know that I'm wrong, but the clock just seems to move faster.
Well, it does now, especially now. But I mean, to me, it was always because they stopped at the NFL games. The pace of the NFL games were faster, and it is what it is. But it's like it felt like each possession maybe matters a little bit more. Because
everything happens faster in the NFL, whereas but like I said, in college, it may be the pace is probably slower, but the clock just seems to go by so much faster now than it does, even though it's the same rules as the NFL has had for years. It's just like. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And Chip Kelly and Lane Kiffin don't like it either, so that's fair enough. All right, well, that'll wrap it up for the captain today. We've got Adam Carricker coming on the ticket coming up here.
Yes, he has two guests coming on.
Oh, does he?
Two guests joining him. I got to make sure I get these names right. Two guests coming on, both former Colorado players.
Okay.
Tyler Columbus and Matt McChesney.
Okay. Yeah.
So Matt McChesney up first, and then Tyler Columbus afterwards. So those will be the two interviews that you'll see Adam Carricker have on his show.
Get a little view from the other side. Of course, we are, again, now less than 24 hours, almost 23 hours from kickoff for Nebraska, Colorado. We've got a lot of our personalities out there, headed out there, or now kind of posting up out there in Boulder. Once again, tune in to the A1 Ticket Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show tomorrow beginning at 8. And our Jay Foreman post-game show, as well as the call-in post-game show afterwards. We can't wait for tomorrow. And we've got plenty of coverage left here on the rest of the day on the ticket. But that'll wrap it up for the captain, for Rico, and myself, Buck. Stay tuned. We'll have more action coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern, in the heart of Havelock.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof that it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights.